Oh, well, hello there, you beautiful, wonderful, intelligent, creative, amazing human being. I'm Andrea Dawn, and today we are here exploring more yoga asana, or the physical postures of the yoga practice, so that we can understand them more deeply. We can understand the why behind them, why we do them, how they're helpful, and then also bridge that gap between mind and heart. So we can take these postures and make them more than something we do on the mat, but we can make them meaningful in our life off of the mat. So today we're taking a look at supine twist, or Supta Matsyeandrasana. So let's find out a little bit more about this posture. Each posture in the physical yoga practice has a Sanskrit name ending in asana. And I say this, and a lot of this is repeated in each one of the asana videos. And it's important. Repetition is helpful. It helps us to remember, and it ingrains it deeper into our knowing. Asana means seat or posture. Today we will explore Supta Matsyeandrasana, also known as Reclined Spinal Twist. So notice Supta, whenever we hear that, it means reclined. When we break down the Sanskrit, we see Supta, which means reclined, Matsya, which means fish, Indra, which equals Lord, and Asana, seat or posture. An English translation of reclined Lord of the fish pose. The upright seated twist appears in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika of the 15th century. This posture is restorative in nature and is practiced towards the beginning and or the end of practice. This brings us to the why behind Supta Matsyeandrasana, or supine twist. Each posture has potential benefits that are, of course, physical in nature, both internally and externally, and also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Yet it is important to note that not all of these are true for everyone and are also dependent upon the time, consistency, and sincerity of practice. This posture primarily lengthens, relaxes, and realigns the spine, as well as massages the abdominal organs. Twisting encourages the flow of blood to digestive organs, aiding in the wellness of your entire digestive system. Other potential areas of benefit are the neck, the chest, the shoulders, the hips, the glutes, and the IT band. Supta Matsyeandrasana also holds symbolic, metaphoric, and meaningful significance to our own personal whys. The imagery of a fish may invoke significance for you. For example, the wise old saying of give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. There are also a handful of stories from ancient Hindu mythology that attempt to lay claim to the origin of this posture. One such story describes a tale of the divine mother Parvati requesting from her husband Lord Shiva all of the yoga wisdom because she was witnessing so many souls lost and suffering, and she wanted to help. He took her to a private riverbank to impart all of his knowledge unto her. Little did they know, a massive fish, of which they mistook for an island itself, was present and absorbed all of Lord Shiva's yogic wisdom. When Shiva realized the island was not an island but a giant fish, he blessed the fish with holy water. Upon receiving this blessing, a celestial man named Matsyendranath emerged. And I might be saying that wrong. Again, Sanskrit, difficult. Shiva bestowed upon him the mission of teaching yoga to the world, and Matsyendra became a living legend, known as the second master of yoga, only after Shiva himself. Perhaps we are something like that big fish of an island, and we too have the ability to hear Lord Shiva bestow all of these truths we are normally too distracted to hear. Perhaps the message is one of stillness, patience, and purification. Rather than seeking and chasing, we have the ability to sit and receive. It is not necessary for us to take these stories literally or even agree upon their meaning, but to simply open ourselves up to the possibility of possibility. And I really enjoyed that story when I think about being in a reclined twist, the benefits that come from when we can simply relax and be there without trying to get out of it or go somewhere else. And that can impart that same knowledge in the rest of our lives. How much of our day is spent trying to get to the next thing or doing this thing to receive some certain benefit or outcome of it. And while, yes, of course, we have goals and we want to accomplish things in our lives, what would happen if we did things simply for the doing of them, for the depth in the doing, for the being in the doing? And so we would receive the satisfaction from our presence rather than from some outcome that is not guaranteed. So when we can recognize that that is where all the suffering comes from, is these desires and expectations and wants and not wants and likes and dislikes, we just run around all day, every day, being unhappy, basically. And so when we can receive the gift that presence, real, true present gifts us, we get to be simply at ease and peace with all of our doing. Again, it does not mean we don't have goals at all. It means that we're not dependent upon the outcome of those goals, which probably will give us the outcome. So let's demo a supine twist. Now, there are lots of variations you can take here, and you might want to have some props handy. One thing that I want to emphasize in our spinal twist is the alignment of the spine. So if I lie down and simply go into the twist, where I would draw one knee, or in this case my right knee, towards my chest and bring it across the body, if you notice, my spine is now on a diagonal. So my suggestion would be that before we go into the twist, bend the knees and shift your hips to the opposite direction of which you will twist. In this case, I'm twisting to my left, so I shifted my hips to the right. So I feel off center now. However, just notice that when I do go into the twist, I'll extend the left leg, draw the right knee up, and now I'm going to take the right knee across the body. And when I do that, my sternum and my sacrum are now in alignment. So I'm twisting from this place where my spine is parallel with the long side of the mat. Once I get there, I might notice that coming all the way down is just way too much for me, in which case I can use blocks or bolsters or pillows to prop my knee. I can prop my knee and my ankle. If you have no props, you can also use your hand as a prop. If it's okay for you on the floor and you want more, you could use this left hand to apply a little bit more pressure. Now we'll work into the chest and the upper body. So let's start by reaching the right hand straight up and then draw the shoulder back and down. Once you have that, extend the arm over towards the right. And here's where you might explore and experiment with where you place this arm. It could be straight out. It could be up on a diagonal. It could be overhead. If that feels like way too much on the chest and the shoulder region, you can bend the elbow. Sometimes I'll even place the hand onto my chest. All right? So that's an option. And then you would take the head and gaze over the right shoulder. Now, if you want something maybe a little bit less, you could also twist just by taking both knees over. And again, here you might prop underneath the knee. You could prop in between the knees and the ankle. If you wanted more, you could cross the right leg over the left or left over right, just depending on which way you're twisting. And find almost like you would find eagle legs, right? And then find that twist. And then your only job here is to receive the benefits of the twist by relaxing. So really tune into the sensations that you're feeling without liking or disliking them, just noticing if they're enough or too much. So finding that Goldilocks space, tuning into your breath. And then what I also find helpful in twisting is relaxing in the navel region. So often I'm tightening in that space, which is great. Core engagement is wonderful. But when I twist, I find a little bit more mobility when I allow that region to relax and I allow space. Again, many variations of spinal twisting. When I come out, I'm gonna recenter myself, give myself a few windshield wipers, maybe draw the knees in, maybe a little bit of rocking before moving on to the other side. I hope this was helpful in understanding your supine spinal twist. And perhaps next time you're there, you remember the story and give yourself that time, permission, and space to quiet and to receive what is here for you to receive. All my love to you. Thank you so much for being on this yoga journey. My heart sees, feels, and smiles to yours. Namaste.